The reason why I've been to Auschwitz so many times is the fact that I'm so thankful that Hitler did not destroy that town. He destroyed all the bridges to get into town, but he didn't destroy it. But his grandmother knows where there are people buried because she watched the not just mow down this group of people. You know, there's still that generation that got to see those horrors in front of their eyes. So I got chills just now saying it again, because you don't know what you don't know till these people tell you. Now, are they telling you the truth or not? Seeing the graves on the east side of the ravine, which was right next to the Garden of Gethsemane. Well, that section you can't go into because it's too dangerous. You know, there were sections of even Jerusalem itself that we, didn't go into because it's just too dangerous. But she was our guide, and she remembers as a kid, and her building got hit by one of the missiles that Saddam Hussein had sent over. So here's the thing that I know about politics in our country. We do elect people to make horrible decisions on our behalf. Exactly.
Geopolitics is super complicated and confusing
and interesting. My 9/11 story.
What's up, guys? Really quickly before you start this episode, if you could subscribe, it would mean the world. If you could share this to someone that might be interested in this stuff, that would be great too. Just trying to get bigger and better every single day. This is part 2 of my sit down with my coach, Josh Winans. As you can tell from the title, this one was pretty electric and pretty exciting. So I hope you enjoy this episode. More stuff like this to come, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, guys. Well, we're back. I didn't think I'd be doing part 2, but it's just we've been going at it. So a lot more questions for Josh or Mr. Winans, Coach Winans, whatever. He's putting his jacket back on because he was wearing his old high school or the NCAA high school autographed shirt. So my name is on the small of his back. We were hoping that he was going to put it on camera, but we'll keep it conservative now, man. We mentioned this earlier in part 1, but you've done some when I was introing you last time. Not that people aren't aware of it, maybe some aren't, but you did do missionary work for a whole year, right? Well, I'm thinking of specifically Poland. I don't know if you've done stuff outside of that. And one thing that's interesting to me is I've told my friends, like another kid, Josh Hartling, is like, if I ever would go on a missions trip, I went on a 7 or 8 day one because I had to do one to graduate from NCAA at the time.
Correct.
Which was good, and it was good to just get out of the system. And even though 4 out of the 7 days were we were working, and then the other 3 or 4 were kind of more sightseeing days.
Sure.
But overall, I was reflecting back on it a couple months after we got back and probably graduated at the time, I was really thinking a lot about missionary work and helping out other people. Even though I haven't really I've gone to Canada a couple times for a bachelor party and just to sightsee. But
sure,
I'm spending a year of your life. That's really actually digging in. I've mentioned I had my mom on once for Mother's Day, a podcast, and one of the coolest things she said that always stuck with me is that she went on a missionary trip to Africa, actually, for I think a month and a little bit of change. And when I came back, I'm like, well, Mom, why don't you go on more of these? And then she's like, Ben, my mission field is here. And I thought that was such a profound statement. Mm-hmm. But I think, when you guys originally found out that you were going to Poland, was this you went to Poland in 2017 or was it 2018? I thought it was right after I left.
So,
2016.
Man, now I'm going to forget all the dates. So we went over there in 08 for the summer, and helped out with the summer camps and stuff that the ministry had. And then we did the 2012-2013 school year.
Oh, okay.
And then we did 16 through 18 school year.
Wow.
So we've helped Pro-M ministries 3 different times. How we found out about that is Ann did an internship at Southeast Christian in Louisville, Kentucky, and there's probably 20,000 members, something like that.
So what exactly were you doing in Poland then? Because obviously you don't speak What is it, Polish? What is
Yeah, it's Polish. So
okay.
This last time, like I said, we were going to do 3 years. We started to take lessons that first, 6 months or something. And it's very difficult. But so Ann's thing is teaching English as a second language. So she was able to teach at the ministry's school, and they have a beautiful facility in a town that's probably got, I don't know how many. I don't know what the population is. Probably 30,000, something like that. But so they have a presence there. Their camp facility is just outside that town, probably about 5 miles. That's where I originally. That's where I spent a lot of my time. But then they have a presence in this city of Łódź. It looks like Lodz, L-O-D-Z in English. That I believe is one of the first concentration camps were, or definitely the ghetto. Probably had the first ghetto. But it's got about 1.1 million people.
So where, let me try to blow this up.
And that's actually where Madeline was born, was Łódź.
So that was one of the first concentration camps?
Well, I don't want to misspeak, but it definitely was where one of the ghettos was. Hold on, I got to put these glasses on. I can't see anything anymore. Pose on.
Probably, I don't know. It could be.
Right here.
L. Okay.
So you see there's a little symbol in it. So it makes a wuh sound. Sorry, I'm not in front of the mic.
No, that's okay.
So the ministry has a presence right outside of Tomaszów Mazowiecki.
Okay.
In this tiny little village that's got an awesome old school church in it. And, of course, there's lots of those around. So this is where we lived for a while in Tomaszów. And then Łódź is where we lived those 2 years that we just got done with when Maddie was born.
Can you give me a little Polish? Anything?
Nah,
Hi, how are you?
I don't want to.
All right, fair enough.
I don't want to embarrass myself.
Dude, I was just finding out. Do you know Vitor started learning English at 12? 12.
Well, these Polish kids are learning it in K4.
Well, I'm a dumb American, dude.
Well, that's one of the
languages is not my gift.
But one thing about one way we were really blessed was we got to see almost all of Poland in the sense that there's this awesome mountain range right down here at the bottom, and we got to go skiing in that. We got to go to the Baltic Sea up here. So we flew around Christmas from Łódź up to Gdańsk, which is the port city.
Wow.
And it was $24 one way for each of us.
What is the Polish currency?
So they used to have, I think they kept the zloty is what it's called.
Okay.
They did not go with the euro. Now, since we've left, I'm not sure if they have kept their currency or not. Now, you can use euro there, but their regular currency is zloty. Lauren and I got to go over to Germany, where Ann's ancestry, the farm for the Wachter family, was from. So that was a real highlight.
Whoa.
Got to drive on the Autobahn as well over there. So that was. I wish I had a German sports car to drive on it, but
yeah.
I did not.
What's the average speed limit? Like 100 or something?
So I was going 100 in the middle lane of 3, and I was getting gestured at, I'll put it that way, to get in the slow lane.
Wow.
So the key thing when you're...
look that up.
The key thing that you want to do if you ever drive on the Autobahn is you want to look at the rear view mirror about every 3 seconds. Because what the cars will do is they will flash their lights, and that means...
Get the hell out of the way.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
The roads in Poland are... Now, obviously, the Autobahns in Germany, but back to the roads and stuff. Like, I mean, the highway system's really nice. They've come a long way since we were there, in '08. But all the Krakow, which is, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so thankful that Hitler did not destroy that town. He destroyed all the bridges to get into town, but he didn't destroy it. It is my favorite city in Europe. People said, well, if you like Krakow, Krakow is actually how it should be pronounced. They're like, well, then you should go to, oh my gosh, of course I'm going to blank on it. Prague. They're like, well, and it's more Gothic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's all the architecture, right?
It's awesome, but it's not, to me, it's not Krakow. Yeah, that's the marketplace in Krakow. It's just gorgeous. In the summer, there's vendors everywhere. I don't know.
Wow.
But the best time to go, well, the Christmas holiday stuff that they have in their market squares, every city has it. That's awesome too. But if you ever go to Europe, go in the summer because
I need to go.
It's just a lot better. I mean, there's going to be more people traveling.
You said something about your wife's history. What's the best place to go, website wise, or to figure out an accurate of where you came from? And
I know Ancestry.com is a very popular one. I'm sure any search you're going to find different ones. But we're just going from just word of mouth from generation to generation. Because
I know that Sonntag is with two N's.
Oh, okay.
Two N's actually. Well, I don't know. That's what I thought. I did this stupid tattoo where I did this, and this is supposed to be the coat of arms or whatever.
Yes.
So I took a ton
awesome.
of creative liberty with it, but it's supposed to mean Sunday in German, and then I think mom's side is Kelly, which is either Irish or Scottish.
Sure.
But I would love to go to Germany someday.
See.
I have to ask you.
Yep.
Did you go to Auschwitz?
I have been probably 7 times. Can you pull up another map of Poland and put in concentration camps in Poland? And maybe that'll give us a map. So just outside to the southwest of Krakow is Auschwitz. Yeah, go ahead and hit that Holocaust one. That'll probably be the best. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Krakow is there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously they show where.
Whoa! It's right next to it.
Yeah, it's just outside of town, not too long. I've been to the one in Łódź. Treblinka is actually number 2 by numbers when it came of how many died right outside.
Yeah.
Auschwitz is number 1. It's not what you want to be number 1 on, but
yeah.
And then there's one
where was
way.
Dachau? Was that not in Poland?
Dachau may have been.
I should look that up.
So there was one called. It was right outside of Lublin, L-U-B. Yeah, look up Dachau first. I'm not sure where
Germany. Oh, that was in Germany.
Dachau.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's not on here. That's crazy. But Lublin, we got to go to one that was basically on the close. Basically, you see that one on the left between Treblinka
here?
And Sobibor? It was kind of over there. Lublin is on the border of, I don't know if it was Ukraine. We got to go with really good friends. The wife was the headmaster of the school that the ministry had.
Really?
And either her or her husband were from Lublin. And so we got to go to their summer festival. That's why we went over there. And then that concentration camp, we got to go through.
Yeah, and you're a history guy now that we've, like I said, adding to, whether it was at, you taught some at NCA, and then one of our friends who will hopefully come on the podcast soon, Chris Berger. I'd love to talk about some history stuff. But 7 times visiting those places.
Well, and the reason the reason why I've been to Auschwitz so many times is the fact that when these church groups come over and help the ministry, then they have a day that we take them to Krakow. And part of that is so that they can go to Auschwitz and Birkenau. And but I mean, I've been through them probably that many times. It's crazy. It's crazy to see. I don't know if I want to talk about this or not, but
okay.
I mean, you can still see scratches on the wall and stuff that
You're
people
freaking kidding me.
I mean, they had nowhere to go because the Zyklon B was dropped in from up top. Because basically it's a chamber, but then they have like sod on the outside, because it just looks like a... And there's lots of bunkers. There's a lot even right around where the camp facility is. So one quick story, this couple that we know very well, we were having breakfast on one Saturday morning at Maciek's grandparents' house, and so like here you clean your plate, when you go to somebody's house, you try to obviously eat everything on your plate. That way you don't want to disrespect the
I have no problems
mom,
eating.
you know what I'm saying?
Look at me.
So these crepes, these pancake things with this kind of cheese in the middle or whatever, it was delicious. And his grandmother, I mean, just the perfect model of a Polish grandmother. And I don't eat very much, so I was like, so after I get done with the last bite, she puts 2 more on my plate. And I'm like, Maciek, he's sitting right next to me. He goes, I said, can you tell your grandmother I can't eat anymore? He goes, stop eating. Just stop eating. She'll know you're done. And then I got this horrific feeling. What if she didn't have enough food to put down on everybody's plate that wanted to keep eating? Because I in an embarrassment way. Like that haunted me for like the rest of that day. So it was a great lesson just in how etiquette is in a Polish home. It was a great lesson. I mean, there was no embarrassment, no nothing, and he ate the rest of it or whatever. But his grandmother knows where there are people buried because she watched the Nazis just mow down this group of people and where they're buried. And so she would have been, I don't know how old, because I don't know how old she was when I was in her home. I mean, she was very elderly, but, there's still that generation that got to see those horrors in front of their eyes. So, of course, that probably would have been Russian troops, not Nazi troops.
No, thanks for that story, man. I wanted to bring this up because I remember it popped in my head when you were talking earlier about how I guess I could read this, but basically this is just the AI overview. So once again, super dubbed down and whatever. But Eisenhower, he's quoted responding to reporters, I think people ought to know about such things, when basically he was one of the people. It's like, hey, we need to take evidence and photography of all these terrible things because. Yeah, I mean, even I'm not even going to go down the thought of like people are almost trying to like pick and choose like what parts of history they want to believe is going on. And I think it's interesting because now you hear these days everyone throws around, the NA word, Nazi, and and it's very interesting how stuff from, it's 2025, so it's been like what 80 years or so. Mm-hmm. Since everything going on, and it's weird how you see. I'm not talking about even like things resurfacing, but it's like there's a lot of like basic history about what was happening, and people talk about the 6 million, but think about like you have all the there was a lot of Poles that were also like thrown in there as well, and what's the other word? Gypsies, and
Oh yeah.
there was gay people, or even wasn't there even some Africans too and blacks that were also
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I remember seeing. It's just once again crazy that I hadn't seen this up until now, but I just watched Schindler's about 6 months ago. Schindler's List. That's
got to be in my top 5 of movies.
Yeah,
it's so good. The acting is so good.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this too, because like apparently Steven Spielberg was afraid to make the movie because he didn't think he could do it justice, and Steven Spielberg is Jewish.
Well, and that's a fair, not assessment, but a fair outlook, especially being a Jew. I mean, how would you even start researching for a movie like that? And it's to find as many survivors as you could. And I don't even remember when that was. I think that was in 91, 92.
Yeah.
Something like that is when that movie came out. But yeah, Schindler, there's still a building there that people go by as well. But yeah, Schindler's List is I mean, anybody who makes a movie, wants it to be as accurate as possible, but there's always going to be things that you can't,
Yeah.
It'd be a 12-hour movie. But
that's why also I don't like we don't have to get super political, but I don't like it when people like it's like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, but now when you use the word Nazi, where it's like you can't just say people that you don't like is a Nazi.
Correct.
Like the Nazis were so much in their own category that no one's.
So one of the last times I was at Auschwitz, it was with a friend, and we were taking my brother-in-law, I think, there. And there's hardly anybody in this section of it's just open. There's some barracks still left and whatever. And this guy and his son, because the guy didn't know any English at all. Now I don't know if this is true because anybody could probably say this, but his description, his age, all of that lined up with potentially being a prisoner there. But the story was that he not only was he a prisoner there, but he was also in the Gulag in Russia.
Whoa!
I know.
And gulags were, for anyone that doesn't know, gulags are essentially concentration camps.
Correct. Just in Russia, yeah. So I got chills just now saying it again. But that moment, whoa, I had goosebumps from my toes all the way to the top of my head because, how did he even get out of either one of them? Obviously, liberation was probably the only way. And then, I mean, I guess you would know it's safe to go back, but why would you go back? But if that was his son, and I don't have any reason not to believe him, I mean, he wanted to show him, where and when and what happened to him. But, Tomek, the guy that was with me, he was able to translate because the son knew Polish. And so, I don't know. Again, I don't have any idea if that's true or not. Could just been some old man telling a story. But again, when you're at a place like that and people are talking, it's like, yeah, that probably happened.
I don't think anyone can really go. No one's making jokes and telling lies.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
it's just crazy because, I was thinking about this as well where, a lot of us want to look at history and be like, no, I would have been the one person that I would have hid people or I would have gone to the nth degree. And, and there's always the thought of, I was learning about, in learning about more of the history of America, and once again, I always say how I can never stop talking about the CIA, but a lot of the first head director of the CIA was this guy, Alan Dulles, was very, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All these ties in Germany and Austria and all this stuff. And it makes you wonder how, well, to finish my original thought, I was trying to say is that we'd be like, oh no, I would stand up, I would do these things, and that's like, there were plenty of innocent people in Germany that like, oh, I'm just following orders, I'm just doing this, and there were so many people that got off. Like, yes, there was the Nuremberg trials, but even like, I mean, Dulles helped get a couple of these like Nazis like lighter sentences and all these.
It's because we needed them. And you know why we needed them? Rockets.
The Cold War.
Yeah. There's a lot of, again, as you know, especially World War II history.
It scares me,
not
man,
that I'm an expert, but
no, I'm not either.
I try to find stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff myself. Of course, they're on DVD. I'm sure they're almost outdated by now, but at least they're not VHS.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people that we had to bring over, which helped.
Yeah, people like Walter Schreiber, von Braun.
Von Braun, that's the one I'm thinking of, because
we have actually a couple institutions named after Nazis. You know that?
Oh, I'm sure we do.
I'll look that up just in case.
I'm sure we do.
What were you going to say?
I mean, for the space race, during that time period, we had to secure all of them. Otherwise, the Russians were going to get them.
Yeah.
And in some small way, I don't blame the U.S. government for trying to get as many of those people as we could. Because who knows what at that time, Cold War, who knows what they would have used those mines for. I mean, they still have all their own stuff too. I mean, they made it too, but it was who was going to get there first.
Right.
So.
But doesn't it confuse you when you start learning about this stuff? Because like, that's not really. I mean, it's not talked about as much, but that's not hidden history. Like, that's also how the world works when it comes to like nuclear power and all that stuff. Where it's like, the enemy can't have more than we, or be more powerful, and
right.
So, and I you understand in a way why the space race happens and why,
sure,
the nuclear arms race happens. And actually, it's actually really interesting how apparently there's a certain, I don't know if it's North Korea or someone else is like restarting like nuclear testing. And so like Trump is getting that done again. And it's very interesting because it's like, every president that you kind of see is like runs, on anti-war, but then the war kind of keeps going. Obama ran on anti-war.
Because you don't know what you don't know till these people tell you. Now, Are they telling you the truth or not?
Yeah. Well, so once again, you look at Obama anti-war, like Lyndon B. Johnson was anti-war, but like, after like Kennedy was actually anti-war, and what happened there. And not that there's a conspiracy and everything, but it's interesting how where it's like when you're this high up in government, like I watched this movie on Netflix, which the ending was kind of poor, but it was basically highlighting like if a nuclear attack happened, like how does that even work? There's this great book called Nuclear War: A Scenario by this woman, Annie Jacobson. She went on Sean Ryan and talked about it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Super accurate, and the book's super entertaining, but it also means like there was actually, you probably heard of this too, where I'll check myself in the comments, and in post-production I'll correct myself if I don't get the exact time frame right, but it was, I think, 60s, 70s, basically Cold War era, where the Russians thought they were going to be attacked, and they almost pressed like the button, figuratively speaking. Have you heard of that story?
Yeah, I forgot the details, but yeah, it looked like on radar or something that they...
Wasn't it the moon or something?
I don't even know if radar was even around then, but anyway... yeah, there was some indicator that they thought that we or whoever had fired first, and that's how close it is. I mean,
but isn't it weird how this is what's happened? This is actually reality, and then you have times where you're sitting in church like, oh, God's in control, and then you're like. So it's tough for me right now because like I'm very much a Christian, and then I read this stuff, and obviously I try to get it and that's why it's cool having conversations like these or with other people where I don't think I'm like a victim of fear porn, but it's like This stuff can make you go crazy, dude.
Well, sure. Even what's going on right now. I mean.
Well, I mean, it's awesome. Like you said, when you went to Israel, you went to Tel Aviv. Mom and Dad were trying to go there 2 or 3 years ago, and they'll probably never be able to go now.
So when I was flying out to go back to Poland from there, because the rest of them were obviously flying back to here because of Gate City. President Trump was landing. Like, I've got a video of Air Force One landing.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Can you send it to me?
Sure.
Well, you can do it after
Absolutely.
or whatever. Not right now.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
I
didn't know you could be like in the vicinity.
Well,
when
we were waiting
I thought they shut down like
for our planes. Well,
20 roads near the airport.
There wasn't anybody. There wasn't any.
This was in Tel Aviv?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Because he was there to try to get the embassy to be moved to Jerusalem.
Right.
That was his main thing for flying there, and I just happened to be.
That's a big part of current history, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It just it was that was yeah. I mean, we could have been on the other side of the airport and not got to see it, but yeah, it's right, and they. Even when the plane stopped, you were still able to at least see. I mean, I didn't see him, of course, because they had the limousines, ready for him to get into. But yeah. How did we get on that topic?
Well, we were talking about Poland, and then I also wanted to hear about your experience when you went to Israel, and before that we were talking about just the nuclear,
right.
The nuclear thing.
Yeah, the being able to just see the remaining wall of the temple, seeing the graves on the east side of this ravine, which was right next to the Garden of Gethsemane, which we got to.
So we know where that is?
What? The Garden of Gethsemane? Yeah. I had communion in it. We had a worship service in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's right.
What does that feel like spiritually, being in that land? I'm an empath, so I'm over emotional all the time. But I feel like that would be quite the spiritual experience.
Yeah, I think.
Even regardless of being whether you're Protestant, Catholic.
I think the emotional moment I had was. Let's see. We were at the Sea of Galilee, and we. It's amazing. It's amazing how close stuff is.
Size of New Jersey, right?
Well, yeah. The whole country, yeah. But like, I guess in my mind, I always thought things were like really far apart, and to an extent, I guess they are. But anyway. We basically got to see the spot where, man, I wish I would have brought my stuff. I didn't even think about that we would talk about this, of course, but I had a journal every day, souvenirs, all that stuff. I kind of have in a little satchel. But like Mary of Magdalene, like the reason why she has that last name type of deal is because that's where she's from. And so where Jesus asked the disciples to come follow him, you can see Magdala like right there where she's from. Whoa. Like it's not very far at all, like geographically. Like you can see it from one to the other.
How far is like Bethlehem from like Nazareth and all that?
Well, that section you can't go into because it's too dangerous. Yeah. Pastor Paul is the only person that I know of in that group that rented a vehicle, not that trip, but a previous trip, because he goes ours actually got postponed. And then when I was in Poland, the airfare was only $300 round trip instead of what it would be from Boston. So not only because what they would do is, I don't know if you know this, but he would pick a name out of a hat for the teachers at NCA and give them a free trip.
Whoa.
Gate City would.
Really?
And I happened to be, but then there was too much violence the year I was supposed to go.
This is what, 20?
I went in 17, so or 18, 17, I think. So we were supposed to go with 16. I'll just say, just for argument, not argument sake, but story's sake.
That's crazy.
But what was great is not only did he bless me with the trip of my lifetime, because I always wanted to go. My initials are Jew. I've always had this connection with God, even as a little kid. What did you say?
You said your initials?
RJEW. Yeah. Yeah. Joshua Elliott Winans.
Continue.
Isn't it great?
Hilarious.
Isn't it great though? So, never got teased about it, by the way. I don't know if any of my friends have even put it together.
They probably never put it together.
Yeah, which would have been fine, whatever. But
you're funny.
So I'm in Poland the year that, because the year before they couldn't go, and now they can. So now I get to be a blessing just because of geography. So my round trip from Warsaw to Tel Aviv is $300 instead of what it would be from Boston or wherever they flew out of. So it was just so great. It was 13 days of just, we started up in Haifa, which is right along the Mediterranean. So we kind of did the northern section first, then the Sea of Galilee the next day, and just on and on and on. And
you were there for how many days total?
I think it was 13 total.
Wow.
And food, everything was just amazing.
So that spiritual experience was definitely pretty profound, huh?
Yeah, and I'm glad we have these phones because you can take as many pictures as you want.
Yeah.
A regular camera, you gotta.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send a couple my way.
All that stuff. So, yeah. So I'm glad I've got them all. I think I did a presentation to one of my classes once about it, but I don't remember if that was. I guess it wouldn't be NCA because that was after NCA.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool, man. And I just got a couple more questions for you. Like I said, the tea time's also coming up, so we probably got another 20 minutes or so. Once again, thanks for coming in. I appreciate
of course.
it. There's honestly a lot more. We might have to just have you come back.
Sure.
But like, what? And I remember, just to be clear, like I remember when we were golfing at Canterbury, like I made like a statement about like these things. I think a little while ago about like I'm trying to follow what's going on in Palestine and Israel, and I think currently I have been a little, I am pretty like. I'd say critical at times of like the Israeli government, but I think when you look at all for someone to, a lot of people, and rightfully so, like want to give their opinions and their facts and how they want to talk about like, the conflict that's been going on for 1,000 years, or not 1,000, sorry, 100 years, excuse. And now the YouTube comments are going to rip me. But it's weird how so many things going on in the world is connected to, and I told about this with my mentor, Ben Paquin. It's like there is so much conflict and, for being the Holy Land, there's a lot of blood that's been spilt over the, hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's so interesting because when we look at our faith and how like we obviously want to be supportive of God's people, Jesus was, people forget that like, Jesus was Jewish, like,
correct.
People want to make these assumptions whether, American Christianity or thinks that like, Jesus was white or Jesus was black. It's like, no, he was Jewish. He was totally different. And it's weird how you see how so much of what's going on politically, geopolitically in the world is really going on there. And I think it's something to be aware of, like, regardless of however you feel about this group of people or that group of people or what's going on. And then you look at history and you're like, holy cow, man. And then, you got all the Iran stuff and all these surrounding countries that like, at times, I definitely think, a lot of people look at Israel as like, hey, they're like the democracy out there, like the single state that's like, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, all I know of having been there and just looking at a map in general, I mean, they're completely surrounded, whether it's by land or water.
Yeah.
And it's not very big. Like, saying that's the size of Jersey, I've heard that comparison
Is
too.
Jersey smaller than New Hampshire?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I guess it could be.
Yeah, there's
but
what,
I'm not
8 or
sure.
9 million people that live there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Jersey's probably got a bigger population than we think, but actually, some of my relatives, actually my great-grandparents were both from there, but they didn't meet till they were in Illinois. So supposedly I got ties to Jersey. So not that that's something you want to put out there, but there you go, people. But, there were sections of even Jerusalem itself that we, didn't go into because it's just too dangerous. But yeah, going throughout the majority of the country, I mean, it's pretty much, I wouldn't say desert like sand, but just rock and shale and just the normal. But, you got to see the typical goat herds and sheep and these shepherds, take them from one spot to the other, and camels, of course. But again, we weren't able to get to everything. So yeah, it may be the size of Jersey. But all I know is, like, the only part of the Jordan River that you could really go to, because you could see the Jordanian troops, like, probably the length of this building, if not closer, because some people wanted to get baptized in the Jordan River, which I should have, even though I've already been baptized, I should have taken that opportunity. It's so stupid not to. But anyway, but I mean, again, they're just right there. So to be a person who lives there and that's their whole life generationally, and that's all they know, like, you would kind of, even though you have this freedom inside your border. So one of the, you probably don't have enough time, but anyway, this I hope you get to go sometime with Grace Fellowship, because they use the same lady each year, and I think she's been to Gate City to talk. But she was our guide, and she remembers as a kid, and her building got hit by one of the missiles that Saddam Hussein had sent over to, if I'm getting the story right. So I hope whoever you said was going to check your stuff.
Yeah, I'll check. I'll double check it.
But she lived through that.
She lived in a building where Saddam...
Yeah, like it ended up being damaged. I don't know if it collapsed, but so I don't want to say stuff that I don't, but I took a lot of notes and just listening to her, but it was so profound, because what they were trying to do is blow up the oil refineries that are right there on the Mediterranean. That's what he was trying to do. He wasn't probably actually trying to kill civilians. But again, the whole Saddam thing, I was probably in, what was that, 91? So that was early high school for me. Probably was even before that, maybe 90 or 91. Well, Bush Senior was in office.
Oh,
but anyway,
I want to go for another 2 hours with you.
Yeah.
Was George Bush a good president?
So here's the thing that I know about politics in our country. And we've already alluded to it, no matter if it's government agencies, I'll just put it that way. That way I'm not singling anyone out.
Yeah.
All I know is there's a lot of stuff that happens that, A, we'll never know. B, you could argue if we need to know or not.
That's the other thing that I hear from people I know.
Yeah. We do elect people to make horrible decisions on our behalf. Good decisions too. And I'm not I'm not giving them a cop out if they have to. Like, I don't know how you order somebody's death, but also I'll never be in a situation where I have to make decisions on behalf of a unit of soldiers. Of course, you're going to take out something that's going to take out them.
Yeah.
So in that regard, like, these leaders have to make those horrible decisions for us to keep us safe.
Absolutely.
Now, is there shady CRAP that happens? Yeah. Of course there is. And we're never going to know about it, whether we should or not.
But also, we have to realize the military is there.
Oh yeah,
to be a military.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking about like how do. You're right. We could talk for 2 more hours. 1 hour will be just a JFK thing.
Oh.
But I just, and more's even coming out this past week on the. Yeah, I've seen some new stuff.
Oh no. I did a whole series on that too.
Did you watch that movie, JFK? Okay.
I watched the Did you watch the second one? JFK Revisited?
Revisited, yes. I've only seen it once. I can't.
There's a little propaganda, but it's in there.
Of course, there's going to be.
But you can see a trend.
Well, the new image that they have, where the one person is definitely shooting. They've been able to enhance the photograph to be able to see that there was another one. So the grassy
in the book depository.
So the grassy knoll. So you have all that concrete, right?
Keep the mic on you. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
I always forget about it.
No, it's okay.
But anyway, so if
you're talking about the grassy knoll shooter.
Yes. So if the grassy knoll is behind me, exactly. So it's more at the fence is where it was.
Yeah, where they see the smoke.
Correct, but the one that everybody sees with the smoke, the new thing that I saw within the last few days, is there was one, again, if you're looking at the fence and you see the one that we all know about, the other one had been altered, the photograph or the video or whatever, and they've been able to brush it up or whatever in order to see that there was another person that was along that fence in a different spot.
So you think
now that I've said all that, I don't even remember where I saw that the last 2 or 3 days. I don't know if it was on a reel. I don't know if it was on Netflix. Sadly, I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Okay, that's fine.
But there was something new about that piece, at least that I'd never heard of it. And I don't nerd out on that topic, but
it's interesting hearing this from you because I know you're very level-headed. I know you're not a conspiracy theorist. I know you're not. You're not looking for. Well, but and this is the tough thing too, right? Because if you're being honest with yourself, like there are a couple conspiracies going on right now. Some of the Epstein stuff is a conspiracy. Some of the JFK thing is straight up a conspiracy. I know now people have the 5 big ones, right? I know I think I know a decent amount about 9/11. I did a 3-part series on that.
Yeah, a lot coming out. Just think about it in another 10 years, how much is going to come out. Actually, it might not. Trump might be the only one that can actually get as much open. And he's still... See, here's the thing. We're never going to truly know, I don't think, the whole story. Why would we? I hope we do. Yeah. We're going to need to keep people accountable.
But once again, like... If we just had more, I gotta have you in for another time, man. But like, my whole thing is that, and here and there, once in a while, like it's fun to like go down conspiracy routes. But like some of the stuff with like I know that the CIA killed JFK. Like it's pretty obvious. But it's because of the war machine, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's a president's nightmare. And because if you don't go along, they're gonna get rid of you. Sorry, I put that in there, but anyway, go ahead. Well, I'll shut up so you can talk. My bad.
But then I'm like, I don't want to be biased when the next thing comes up. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I originally we did a podcast on like me, Joe, Scott, and Shane. We did a whole podcast talking about the Iran conflict, and at the end of the thing, it popped up like President Trump was giving his speech. He addressed it as like it just happened, and we got super lucky.
Oh,
I was able to pull it up. Yeah. But I originally was I'm not anti Trump now, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
at the time with the Iran stuff, and I know we're jumping around a little bit, like,
Sure.
I thought, I'm like, this is bad. We're going to war. Like, it's not a good thing. And like I said, don't have time to talk about that. But
Right.
I'm like looking back on it a little bit. I'm like, okay, that was super. It got dangerous, but that was maybe the right. I don't know about the right thing to do, but I don't know, because everyone can go, and when you hear it on Sean Ryan and all these places where everyone's like, why why was America even in Iraq? And because you brought up Saddam Hussein, that's why all this stuff came out. And it's like, I even in the 9/11 series, I was talking about how
I watched most of that.
Mine?
Your podcast, yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I tried a lot on it. I tried to do my best. And I think it's like you had these guys like under, like, even I think his name was Dick Armey. He was a guy that like Cheney went to when it came to Congress, like voting should we go into Iraq, and it even happening, because I even talked with like people I know, which I'll blur this out, but basically I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are like, oh no, we absolutely should have gone to these places, because what else do you do when America gets attacked and 3,000 people? And then you're like, but damn, that's a good point too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you gonna like fold your hands? And I think obviously, a couple weeks after, or a couple of days after 9/11, like we sent like CIA and like the special ops, the Green Berets and those dudes into Afghanistan. But then it's just tough, man. Like geopolitics is super complicated and confusing and
interesting.
But it makes you like kind of worry. Like, and this is one thing I got like 5 more minutes, but like, I brought this up in another podcast where I'm like, I get confused because before 9/11 happens, like American embassies are getting bombed by people from Bin Ladenites because of American support.
Correct.
For the New Jersey size place. Not to be very clear, I'm not saying it's because of this specific place, but you see how all these different, and I don't know like I didn't, or I don't know crap. I didn't go to college or whatever, and I'm trying to. It
doesn't mean you're not. You can educate yourself on this stuff.
But
don't worry about college.
Yeah, but I'm trying to listen to listen to what Republicans, listen to Democrats, listen to the independent people, and then listen to the actual dudes on the ground doing that stuff. And
so just for a few minutes, I know you got to probably wrap this up, but my 9/11 story, I was at Concord Christian, or no, sorry, I was at Calvary Christian. And the seniors, we went down for a mission trip, and so we stayed right across the river into New Jersey in these projects, and we were helping stuff there, and that's where we slept. And so the Saturday, we had this day in the city. And after we had all that fun or whatever, we were taking the subway from under the towers to back over to Jersey, and we were going to spend the night and then drive home the next day back to New Hampshire. And there was an adult in front of the line with the kids. These are all seniors in high school, and then I was the caboose, so to speak. So I was the back person. And so as we're going down those stairs to get onto the subway, there's stairs that are a little bit farther back. And I wanted to, it was so weird. I wanted to see how far up the steps I had to go to be able to see the entire side of one of the towers.
What day is this?
So we're getting on this train probably around midnight, 1 a.m. on September 10th. Because the next day, same day after we sleep for a little bit, we're driving back to Calvary. And then I don't know why I did that, but I just thought it was interesting. Like, how far back do I got to go to see? Like, these things are.
Who doesn't want to see the?
It's a quarter of a mile in the air. I mean, it's just insane. Like, I've been in the Empire State Building, and you have to take one elevator to another, and it's the same thing with But I
How
don't.
many floors is the Empire State?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's not 110 like the towers were. But anyway, so fast forward to September 11th, we all get called to go to the sanctuary at Calvary Christian. And the headmaster, Don Batchelder, one of the best human beings on the planet, he tells us about what's happened. And the seniors are realizing where they just were about 30 hours ago or whatever. Probably not even 30 hours. Probably more like 18. But do you know what they did? Everybody went home. Our school sent everybody home. The parents had to come and pick them up because the whole nation was preparing for whatever else might happen. So we all, that was what, 9 o'clock in the morning. So we found out
8:46
yeah,
at 9:02.
So
Wow.
probably about 9:30. Because, I mean, most people saw the second one on TV. Matter of fact, I think we had TVs on at the school at that time.
Oh, my God.
Not in front of kids, but...
Of course.
But, like, the seniors were like, we were just there. Like, yep. And so that was weird for them and all of us. But I know exactly where I was standing in that chapel. It's a beautiful chapel. It's typical New England chapel. Yeah, they sent us all home, and I don't think we had school for, no, I don't know. I don't technically remember. It feels like a week. I don't know. Because there was so much uncertainty about other things, And, I mean, they landed every plane that was over the continental United States.
Over 4,500, I think.
It was just insane.
But do you know what?
And one of the pilots was a dad of one of the kids at Portsmouth Christian.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
But guess how many flights? Guess what flights left after 2 days?
After 2 days?
Yeah, we flied out the Saudis and Bin Laden's parts of Bin Laden's family that were.
They were stateside?
Yeah, they were.
Oh.
They were in either part of New York or not New York, maybe Jersey.
That doesn't surprise me.
Bush had a meeting with our Busto Energy with Bin Laden's brother, which, to be fair, he's one of 54.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like everyone's hobnobbing with him.
Correct.
But it's like, what a conflict of interest. I know I'm repeating from other times.
Yeah, and I'll watch those too, because that stuff, I don't know.
Josh, this was incredible. I can't believe I have to stop right now.
It's all right, man.
I think we did about two. What are we at for time? We're at 2.5 hours, man. You are a legend. There's so much more we got to talk about. Maybe I should do one with you and Berger, and we talk about that would
be
stuff.
That would be really cool. And even if you talked with him like first, and then me come in
and then
after,
yeah,
that way he can, you can ask him stuff.
That'd be great. And then I can narrow down and have like more of an outline and
yeah. Or I could sit over there and just shut up and listen to him or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Whatever's comfortable for you two.
Dude, thank you so much. Thank you for these stories. And like I said, I'm going to chop this up into 2 episodes, but there is a lot that we just kind of hit in the last hour.
And there's probably more
stuff
on your list, yeah.
Oh, there was more. I had so many more things I wanted to talk about Kirk and stuff, but maybe another time with the right context and the right way of looking at things. Sure. I love you, man. Great to see you.
Love you too, man. Yep.
Cool. Guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. And Josh will be back soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, thanks for the trophy, man.
You're welcome.
This is cool. I'm actually going to see some of the guys tonight, so I'm going to press this over there.
One of them's a little bit loose, but we just at the very bottom you just need to tighten it up. But
you're the best, man.
Yeah, you guys earned that one. So.
Cool. Thanks.